Right when we started to get super excited about the Joshua versus Fury fight, it was officially off. It turns out that despite Fury's multiple ultimatums and the entire legal mess over the papers, AJ never signed the papers on time. So who's the next boxer to witness the wrath of the Gypsy King in an upcoming match? And why is everyone slamming his next move over a trilogy? Keep watching to find out. First off, Anthony Joshua is officially out. We've been on this debate long enough about whether or not he should really be up against the Gypsy King, and almost everyone agreed that after losing twice in a row to Alexander Usyk, there was no way he could train enough to beat Tyson Fury. At the same time, backing out didn't seem like the best option after all the hype this fight created. So eventually, the date was finalized, the place was rumored to be confirmed, and yet the papers still weren't signed. And despite the ultimatums by Fury, AJ silently backed out when his legal team still couldn't come to a final agreement for the fight and lost their chances for it. Now, while all of this drama pissed off Fury, he's coming out of retirement with a lot of enthusiasm, and he's not leaving here without a fight no matter who it is, especially considering he's up against Usyk next year and wants an epic fight right before that. Moving on, right after the collapse in talks of a mega clash with Joshua, the Gypsy King is going to defend his WBC title against Derek Chisora, and you guessed it right, it's on the same date, December 3rd. So if you had all your plans set aside to watch the mega clash in December, don't be too sad about AJ stepping out, because even if the opponent's not the same, we've still got you set up for a pretty epic fight coming up in December. Following up, it won't be the first time Chisora's up against Fury. That's right, folks, it's actually going to be their third contest after having fought before in 2011 and 2014. And guess who won both times? The Gypsy King. So what are the odds of Chisora beating him this time? Well, first off, it's been almost a decade since their last fight, and both fighters have mastered their talent. In fact, boxing promoter Frank Warren says Chisora's going to get his second shot at the heavyweight crown. As for Fury, the whole chaos literally went on for 3 or 4 weeks simply because they couldn't find an opponent. And just like that, they ended up with the highest ranked opponent who hopefully will sign the papers on time. Having said that, there's also a lot of history involved here. The Gypsy King was just 22 when he first fought him in July 2011. Both men came into the fight breaker and he won fair and square on points after 12 rounds at Wembley Arena in London. And it wasn't long until they met again in a face-off in November 2014 at Excel in London. Yet again, Fury grabbed the victory at the end of the 10th round right when Chisora's corner threw in the towel. Adding to that, the 38-year-old fought for the belt all the way back in 2012 after his defeat to Vitaly Klitschko. And not too long ago, he announced he was going to retire from boxing right after he beat Kubrat Pulev in the summer. But who can really resist a fight like this? He's coming back for another shot at glory against Fury, with Cardiff looking at the most likely setting for the bout. Not to mention there was a lot of hype for the Fury-Joshua fight. Now, the WBC champion would have had his one epic fight this year, and everyone had their hopes up for Usyk, but since he's not available for now, you can expect to see the fight in February. At the same time, Fury's up for a fight and his team wants to get him out. After all, the hype's nothing but great for him, right? In fact, as fans, we'd love to watch a boxing match like this any day now. But after the situation with AJ sidetracked, we're hoping this fight's going to be as competitive. And let's face it, Joshua was super vulnerable, and Derek is probably going to give more of a fight than him, living up to the hype. The 34-year-old said AJ didn't even want the fight, so he never pushed it or signed the contract. So for him came a brutally honest statement. This is a lack of balls from AJ and a lack of being assertive. And after everything that happened, we can't help but agree with him. Now, right around the final ultimatum, AJ spoke up saying his legal team was going to take care of everything. It turns out there were a lot of discrepancies and legal complications involved, so the professionals had to deal with it, so it wasn't really under his control. But to that, Fury's response was, if you're a man, you'd be assertive with your team and make sure it's done. What's more, Chisora and Fury's love-hate relationship has been going on for a while. The Gypsy King, who was really an underdog at the time, even beat the other British boxer twice in 4 years. At the same time, he'd always promised him a needless trilogy, as their love-hate relationship pretty much changes from friend to foe on the regular. In fact, Fury will be the heavy favorite to beat the British boxer for the 3rd time. On the other hand, boxing fans were pretty disappointed that he chose the mismatch instead of a tantalizing fight with Joe Joyce. Now, the WBA champion told Joyce to grow his following first, arguing that even his wife Paris is better known than the boxer after the heavyweight world title. And while he doesn't think Joyce could beat him, he'd love to see him try one day. Right now, Joyce has around 150,000 followers, but it's a long way from there. The woman in comparison got over 1 million, and even she's more popular than the top 10 heavyweights. So Fury isn't wrong after all. After coming back from retirement, he wants to fight someone who's got their own following out there as well. Coming up, fans slam Fury for a dangerous and sad trilogy fight. While he's already locked in his next fight, fans have been super underwhelmed by his easy opponent. In fact, they had quite a lot to say in response to his choice. Many think it's gonna be super dangerous because Chisora is known for it. Over the years, he's only become stronger, and so if we're counting on a Fury versus Chisora Part 3, we're tuning to madness. On the other hand, fans fans also want him to delay the fight until the next year or so. While it's going to be massive, people think the two boxers need to train enough before they finally come face to face. And at the same time, there's a lot of ambiguity and fear in the air for the upcoming fight. At this point, fans don't even know if they want to get excited about the fight until everything's signed and finalized. First, there was the Usyk versus Fury fight that got us super hyped until it got delayed, and even when that's happening, talks about the potential fight with AJ had been going on for quite some time now, keeping everyone on their toes. Now Derek Chisora suddenly enters in the trilogy fights. It's time for the Gypsy King to iron out the details and make up his mind now. Finally, Tyson's got a lot of hopes set on Derek. In fact, he's promised fans that his bout with the British boxer is going to put them in the same amount of danger they're expecting from a fight with Usyk in an undisputed clash, and honestly, that's exactly what fans want. And even though he already beat the boxer twice a couple of years ago, Tyson says fans should expect him to be equally challenged in the domestic beat-up. In his opinion, Derek's got the same energy and danger as Usyk. In fact, he even talked about a fight between his two potential opponents. It seemed to be pretty good and up close, but the WBA champion thinks Derek deserved at least a draw and he's no pushover. So if someone's not on their A-game, Derek's gonna beat them up. And while it all started with a love-hate relationship, the pair actually became friends over the past few years. On the other hand, that all went by the wayside when Derek picked Dillian Whyte to beat Tyson in his homecoming fight at Wembley Stadium a couple of months ago. Since then, the two have gone back and forth, with Derek branding the WBA champion as being bipolar when the fight was initially offered. In fact, he talked about how Tyson couldn't seem to make up his mind. He's definitely going to fight again, but who will he be up against? Adding to that, he said the Saudis have a 2-fight deal with AJ, Usyk, and Fury. This and then the winner fights Fury for undisputed. That's a wrap for this video. How excited are you for the upcoming Fury versus Chisora fight? Are you not a fan of the dangerous and sad trilogy fight either? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.